What's up, YesWelder family? My name is Rico, and today we'll be using the 55DS plasma cutter by YesWelder. This is my first time using a plasma cutter by them. This is strictly plasma cutter only. I did use one on the MP200 they sent me before, and it has a built-in plasma cutter, and it's also a welder. It did pretty good. I've been using it around the shop a couple of times, and I haven't had an issue with it yet. I'm very excited to see how good this one cuts since it's strictly plasma cutting only. Okay guys, before we get into actually using the plasma cutter, let's look at a few specs. This machine is equipped with thermal overload protection. So what that basically means is if the machine feels like it's overheating or it's getting too hot or something might go wrong, the machine will shut off by itself, and all you have to do is wait for the machine to cool off and plug it back up, and you should be ready to go. That's a good feature they added, because the last thing you want to do is burn up your brand new machine. A lot of welding machines don't have that feature, and I'm very happy that they decided to add that to this one, which will increase the lifespan of your plasma cutter. They also say it cuts up to 3/4. That's very, very thick metal. Today we'll be trying it on thin metal and the thickest metal I could find. So they say they also cut stainless steel, cast iron, mild steel, alloy steel. It's equipped with pilot arc technology. So what that means is that the machine allows for you to cut without actually have to touch the metal. The good thing about having that technology is that it increases the lifespan of your accessories, the tips. Whenever you don't have that, you're constantly going to be messing the tip up because you will be rubbing against that metal. So that's a very good feature that they added. I will mention this: if you do order this machine, my recommendation to you is to order extra accessories, because if you're not used to using a plasma cutter, you will run through all those accessories, and the last thing you want to do is have to wait a couple more days before you're able to use it again. With built-in post flow, so what that means is once you finish cutting, it will still keep blowing out air to cool off your tips, which increases its lifespan also. Let's talk about the accessories that it do come with once you buy this. It comes with a 13-foot cutting torch, 10-foot ground clamp, air filter. You definitely will need this, because what this does is it filters out the air. All the moisture and water drops down. The last thing you want to have is water going to your machine, because it will mess it up. And it also comes with a 110-220 volt adapter. This is very important. Now we'll let y'all know, guys, if you're trying to use the machine daily, just use the 220 volt. You want all the juice to go to the machine. You want the machine to be able to cut better. 220 volt is the way to go. They also send you a few torch consumables. Like I said, if I was you, I order extra consumables just to make sure you have them laying around. And the reason I say that is because when I was using their machine last time, I ended up dropping it and my tip broke, and I had to wait a couple of days before I could use it again. So just go ahead and order you some extra consumables. And it also comes with this hose. This is the hose that you will plug up from the filter to the machine to get the airflow going in there. Another accessory that I highly recommend that doesn't come whenever you buy this plasma cutter is a 220 volt extension cord. This is 40 foot, so it's pretty long. The reason why I highly recommend this is because I know a lot of y'all don't have the 220 volt adapters in your garage. I know a lot of y'all who watch these videos wet out your garage. Now, if you do get this one, if you do get the extension cord, you easy plug it up to your washing machine. Most of your washing machines have the same connection, so you can plug this up to your washing machine connection, run the extension cord all the way to your garage or whatever you're cutting or welding at, and you'll get all the juice that you need. Remember, guys, like I said, 220 is the way to go. Always want as much juice as possible going into this. All right, guys, before we actually get into the cutting, let me tell you what all these lights mean, what this is for, what this is for. Of course, your knob, your gauge. To turn the machine on, simple. All you gotta do is turn on the red button in the back. Once you click on, machine cranks up. The first one right here, that is your power. That's the one you're gonna see once the machine is on. The one right next to it is going to be your overheat protection. So what I was talking about earlier, if your machine is overheating, you will see that this one is going to start lighting up. The third one is the torch protection. This one over here that you see that lit up next to that one is 2T, 4T. So basically what that means is with 2T, you press the trigger, it starts cutting, you let go, it stops. 4T, you press the trigger, it turns into automatic. Whenever you're ready for it to shut off, you press it again. I don't recommend 4T unless you're using it on the CNC machine. 2T will be the best way for you to go. On here, I have the blue light that it's lit, and this is the gas check cutting light. So right here is your air pressure gauge. So obviously it tells you about how much pressure you have of air in this plasma cutter. And of course, your knob to turn the amps down all the way from 10 to 55 amps. I do have my 220 volt extension cord hooked up. I hooked it up to the wall, came down, and I put the adapter from 220 to the 110 connection. I want the most juice out of it as I can. Okay, so whenever you're ready to hook up your plasma cutting torch, it comes with 3 connections. Let's start from the first one. You just take this little cap off, take it off, and it got some thread in there, and you just screw it on there. So pretty self-explanatory. You take the little cap off, put the red cable in there, goes right next to that one. You got 2 holes right there that go with the 2 holes right here. So once you get that, once again, you screw that on there. Last one, this is very important. This goes on to that. Screw it on there. Once it's on there, you should be good to go. So yep, that's how you do it, guys. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Red, plasma cutter obviously goes in here. It's pretty simple. So now let's go to the back and hook up the air filter. All right, guys, so when you get to the back, it's gonna come with this little ring right here. All you gotta do is unscrew these 2 little bolts, take them out, you put this little ring in there and screw it back in. Pretty easy. So after you have that, this is your air filter. Now, I already kind of started melting it on, but I'm about to explain to you on how to do it. So right on top of right here, there's an arrow. That's the flow of the air. So right here, this is a connection that you might have to buy, because I had to get a special connection from my air hose. Depending on what kind of air compressor you have or what kind of hose you have, this is the fitting that you need to buy. Depending on what air hose you have. So this is my personal one. I highly recommend for you to get Teflon on all these fittings. The last thing you want to do is have that air leaking everywhere. Coming along in the middle, this is a plug. You definitely need to put that plug on there. I haven't tightened it up yet, so I can show y'all. It also comes in the package with an Allen wrench. So take your Allen wrench and just tighten it all the way up until it's sealed. I should have put Teflon on there too, but I forgot. But coming along over here, this is your next fitting. Once again, put Teflon in there, and this is where your air hose will come, and it's gonna connect right there. So pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and connect it, and I'm gonna show you again. All right, guys, so I'm pretty much set and ready to go. I got everything set up. Remember the airflow, we got a little airflow goes to here, tube goes in there. Yeah, so whenever you mount this little red piece, this is O-ring, you unscrew that, you put the air filters to the bottom, then you screw it back up, tighten it up, and that's gonna keep it in place. Don't forget to put Teflon, like I mentioned, that's very important. You got your tube. I cut the tube that they give me to give you like 3 or 4 foot. Just go ahead and cut the little piece that you need. Once again, your air goes in here, and don't forget to use these clamps. It comes with two of these pressure clamps. You tighten that up. You don't want no leakage. So yeah, guys, so all you gotta do is hook up your air compressor right here. Pretty much set to go. Oh yeah, so if you want more pressure, you tighten it up. Once you like it, you just push it down, and it locks it in, and that's where it's gonna keep it at. So all right, guys, so I'm about to get ready to start. All right, guys, so I show you the basic setup. I show you how to get everything started. Now let's get into the actual cutting. So what I have right here, my first piece that I'm gonna try is some 18 gauge stainless steel. I'm currently working on the project right now. We're repairing a stainless steel sink, and this is a little scrap piece that I have. I'm gonna do a few cuts on this, see how good it cuts. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna just try to make a nice clean cut it, and cut this piece off of the sink, see how it does, make a few more cuts. Then after that, we're gonna jump to some thicker metal, maybe some carbon. All right, guys, so whenever you're about to cut, pretty simple. You raise this yellow thing up, put your finger on the trigger. Once you press it, it ignites it. So all you gotta do is wherever you're gonna cut at, when you're ready, just press it down and it should cut it. I'm gonna go ahead and make this cut all the way down. I'm at 220, running 55 amps. I'm gonna just go ahead and max it out, see how good it cuts. So here it goes. I'm I'm ready to cut. I'm gonna press the trigger. Wow, nice clean cut. As you can see, the piece fell off. This is pretty thin. I'm not gonna lie, it's 18 gauge. We're gonna try some thicker, but as you can see, it was a nice straight cut on there, stainless steel. One thing that I do like that YesWelder included was this ring. So this ring that you see around the cup is going to help protect the life of your tip, since you ain't going to be constantly making contact. Since the tip will not constantly make contact with your metal that you're cutting, it extends the life and it actually helps you keep a straight line. I really like how they included that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do something. All right, guys, so the machine is fantastic with some 18 gauge. It's real thin though, stainless steel. I got some thicker pipe right here that we're gonna cut. I believe this is schedule 40. It's pretty thick. This is actually one of the students who welded a coupon. So usually what we do is we cut it with the Metabo and we bend them. We cut little pieces out. As you can see right here, it's missing a piece. So we cut this little piece out, we grind it down smooth, and we bend them. And if they break, they fail. Obviously, if they don't break, they pass. So I'm gonna go ahead, give it a nice cut, see how good it cuts. And after that, we're gonna try some carbon steel. By the way, you see, whenever you finish cutting, it's still blowing out air. That was the technology that I was talking about earlier, so it could preserve this tip. If it wasn't for that air blowing, this tip will slowly start going to waste. By it cooling it off, it makes the life of the tip last a lot longer. As you can see, it did a good cut. Here's a little piece that I just cut out for example. It's a little piece that I cut out. And not too bad, guys. Did pretty good. It's pretty thick, especially stainless steel. It's pretty hard. All right, guys, up next we have a piece of aluminum. This is not stainless, this is aluminum, 1/4 inch, pretty thick. I'm gonna just do a nice little cut all the way down, see how good it cuts. Then we're gonna do some carbon steel. Let's see, but it seemed like it had kind of struggled a little bit, but I mean, as you can see, it left a little bit of slack. But aluminum is hard to cut compared to other metals, but you know, for a 1/4 inch, it didn't do too bad. One thing I also noticed about cutting, that it was still able to cut it, but as you can see, it left a lot of slack. But aluminum is harder to cut compared to other metals like stainless and carbon. So let's go ahead and cut some carbon and see how. Okay, guys, so now I got some carbon steel flat bar. This is 3/8, so it's pretty thick. We're gonna see how good it cuts. By the way, I just noticed that my air compressor was down, so maybe that's why the aluminum didn't cut as good, because I did lose pressure. I fixed that though, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to make a cut right here. All right, here it goes. All right, guys, so here is the piece. As you can see, it is very thick piece of metal. Not too bad, guys. It does have some slack at the end though. You'll have to grind all that off. But other than that, man, it did okay. Once again, how thick that piece of metal is. I would have to say that if you plan on cutting real thick metal like this, like non-stop, I wouldn't recommend this machine, even though it does it, because you don't want to always max the machine out. I am maxing the machine out. I am running as hot as it goes, which is 55 amps. So yeah. All right, guys, so there you have it. We tried it out today. If you want to see a follow-up video of me using this machine every day, let YesWelder know for me to do a follow-up with y'all. Hope you enjoyed today's video. My honest opinion about the machine. Like I mentioned before, I think it does a really good job. It makes nice clean cuts, but you have to make sure that your air compressor is pumping that air in there. You have to make sure that you have the 220 volt extension cord. Obviously, like I said, I do not recommend it at 110. I do not recommend any welder machine at 110. You want all that juice in there, fellas. Now the machine is priced under $500. So my honest opinion, the price for the machine, I think it does a really good job. I'm gonna have it around the shop. Most likely what I'll be using this machine for is just to cut out the coupons whenever these students finish. Custom coupons out, custom strips out, and bend them. See if they get past that weld test. But anyways, guys, if you're looking for more welding content, you can check out my YouTube out, TheWeldLab. Post weekly vlogs of welding tips and tricks, pretty much anything around welding. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace.